Florida's newest and best in radio, Sunshine Radio 96.7 FM.
Rise and shine to Sunshine Radio 96.7, Saturday mornings. This is Voice for Veterans and the rest of us who say we support veterans too. News, commentary, information, education, music, and entertainment. New just for you, 96.7. Now, you've heard the rest. Stay tuned for the best. Rise and shine to Sunshine Radio and stay with us all day long. Well, you're in tune right now. Keith, the boss of the beach. And of course, this is Voice for Veterans on a Saturday. We want to thank you for tuning in today. And of course, this is 96.7 FM in St. Petersburg and around the world. It's WVETonlineradio.com. Tune in for all of our programs and all of the subject matter that we bring up every week when we talk to you. And 24/7, when we're not talking to you, you can listen and enjoy the shows and enjoy the events and enjoy the other programs that come out. Of course, with WVET Online Radio, been around for 12 years. I want to thank those members who've joined us over the years. A special shout out goes out to our lady there who handles burial with dignity, Edwina. We want to say hello to you and your husband and your family and the dogs. We also want to give a special prayer out to Waddell McGee and, of course, the team at American Veterans Alliance. He's been in and out of the hospital the last few weeks and is doing much better. And they're taking care of him and his wonderful wife, Gloria. I want to say, get well, Waddell. We're still in the game, and we're going to continue to play. Of course, Waddell started up there with American Veterans Alliance, Society for Hispanic Veterans. In later years, added Burial with Dignity. They also have a lot of other VSO services available. And we definitely want to always give a shout out to all of our VSOs, and that's American Legion, AMVETS, and all of the rest of them. Now, we're going to give a special shout out today to our friends and our new friends over there at Wounded Warriors, and I'm going to be talking more about them later on in the program. When you go to WVETonlineradio.com, you will see several categories of things that you can look at. I always say, please start with the shows. You got upcoming events, home, who we are, and then the shows that we're doing now and the shows that come in the past. We do have an archive and we do have a gallery to show a lot of the information and the pictures that have come over all of the years. Veterans Resources. Please check on that one every time you check on them to see what new resources we've added to the website. And hopefully you will be able to use some of those with your family, with your friends if you're veterans. And if you're not a veteran, but you have associates that are veterans, tune in. You'll get the best in radio, a lot of good music, a lot of information that you can use in the private sector. We believe in one thing. Veterans get first-class treatment. If you're not a veteran, we want you to be able to say, we support vets too. So when you look at our Veterans Resources categories, those are people who say we support vets too, no matter what. We want to thank you again, and we got plenty of stuff to talk to you about today. I know earlier in the week we had been talking about our health program, and I want you people to realize that the health program is very, very, very important. You know, healthy living makes a difference. And in our veterans, I want you to say, please take care of the healthy living part, no matter what. You can get decent food now. You can get a lot of exercise now. And you can get supplements and advice from different doctors and different locations where they support veterans that might give you a point or two. And I want to say the program under the Pinellas County Veterans Program and their health program covers primary care physicians. That means if you visit them, there's no charge. Referrals to specific physicians. And that's very important when you're dealing with health, because there's a lot of other healthy reasons that you want to deal with a specific doctor. who might be able to help you in a special way that you might not know about. Don't forget, check in with your health food stores. See if they have some new information, and they do all support our veterans. Wellness and prevention services, including annual physicals and nutrition education. Nutrition education has now become a mainstay in our communities. It used to be a time that when you went to a store, and I won't mention the name of some of them, but you got the same old stuff in every one of them. Now you can go into major grocery store chains and they have a healthy food selection. So feel free to visit your healthy food selection no matter which one of the major grocery stores you're going into, but ask for that section first. Go through that, see if it's something that might be able to help you with whatever you're doing. Behavioral health screening. That's important now because of all of our veterans returning. A lot of things have changed since you left. A lot of things stayed the same. But a lot of family members have changed. I mean, you left and there was one child and you got back and there are two. So when you think about that behavioral health screening, look at that. Chronic disease management. In the old days, you had one or two, you had a cold, you had the flu, you had something. Nowadays, you get so many doggone diseases you never know. And with COVID-19 out here, you want to be real careful. So be sure, chronic disease management may be important to you and your family. Cancer, pharmacy services, limited dental services, and laboratory services. And I mentioned cancer screening again because cancer screening seems to be one of those things that is pervasive. It comes and goes. Some years you don't hear much about it, and some years cancer pops back up again. So be sure and do whatever little tests that they do to help discover whether it's pancreatic cancer, breast cancer, throat cancer, but it's a lot of areas where we can do that. Look at it. Pinellas County Health Program. Go online, Pinellas County Health Program, Pinellas County Services, and you will find it. Be sure, take the time to look at some of those subjects that we just covered and make sure that you are being covered one way or the other. Now, Delta. When you use the word Delta, we always think about the Delta in Florida. Right now, Louisiana. Right now, Texas. All of those areas have now been hit by the weather storm. And when you say Delta now, pray for those who came through that storm last week. We know that there are a lot of military, a lot of our veterans have moved into that area along with the power companies from 23 states are down there trying to help restore the power, but also get food and water and services to those people. So we salute you, veterans, and the military who are standing up to take care of those in America, especially our Coast Guard, who've gone out of their way to bring in some other boats to help clear up some of the areas, but also they're walking on that ground, finding families, getting them out of those houses. Take care of each other. That's what we always say. Take care of each other. The other Delta is the Delta virus. Now, we went through the regular virus. It took us a while, but we finally got part of it arrested. A lot of people got their vaccinations, and those who do have vaccinations, even if they're getting a little bit sick, are not being relegated to the breath treatments and in the hospitals like those who have not taken the time to get your vaccine. As a veteran, being in the military, being out of the military, you know the importance of making sure that anything that we can do to shortstop a problem, we do. Pass that on to some of your regular people out here who may not understand what that means. What it means is now that we have a Delta virus coming, we really need to make sure that the vaccines are in place, that they are available. I noticed that there's a lot of testing. I'm saying Don't be afraid to go ahead and take a test, especially if you're going to travel. Be sure that you get that most recent test done. Make sure that you're still a negative, and make sure that if you are positive, that you can take care of it. The Delta virus is different from the first virus. Yes, it's more detrimental. It moves faster, and it affects children more than we have had to deal with the first virus. There are a lot of vaccines coming out for different age groups. Do your research, especially you veterans just now getting home from Afghanistan and you're new to all of this. But take care of your children as well. So when you hear the word Delta, Delta virus is the new, the new, the new meaning for Delta. Please take care of yourself. And this goes out to all my veterans and all of their families. The Delta virus is raising the numbers that are now going back into hospitals. Even the number of the deaths have started going back up. Let's shortstop this. Get your vaccine, get a new can of Lysol, get a little bag of masks, and be sure, don't forget your hand sanitizer. It will make a difference in a place where you can't wash your hands. I just finished 7 states traveling, doing some research, talking to my veterans all around in 5 different states. And I want to tell you something. All our veterans are taking care of themselves, and we want to make sure that the rest of the veterans get that message. Hand sanitizer, masks, these are the simple things. Wash your hands 3 to 4 times a day, no matter what. Get into that habit. If you're not home with your mama who used to make you wash your hands when you came in and wash your hands again when you ate and wash your hands again when you use your bathroom, she's not there, but you're there. And you remember those things. Put those practices back together again. And of course, that's another message from our veterans. And make sure that if you see a veteran and he's homeless, you don't have to give him money all the time. Every now and then, just reach in there and hand him one of them hand sanitizers right out of your pocket. Tell them, take care of yourself, vet. We appreciate all you did for this country, and we'll always appreciate what you stand for. Let's say thank you again for tuning in. Of course, we want to thank Joe Bordeaux and all of the team over here at the radio station, 96.7 FM, the new baby in town. And you got a lot to live up to because radio has always been strong in this market. And we appreciate all that they have done and all that they continue to do. We're here at Air Force Base, MacDill Air Force Base, which happens that my nephew was born on MacDill Air Force Base. Shout out goes to Sean and Dora. My brother was stationed here many years ago, and his first son was born right here. Tampa Bay, what are you going to say? We're the best and we bring the rest. We want to say we want to be grateful to all of those members who say we support vets too. And that's in the Tampa Bay area. You know, Tampa Bay, one of the sharpest cities in the country. It's new when it comes to all of the things that you can do. Of course, everybody says Florida, the first words out your mouth is Miami. And we love Miami too. But Tampa Bay is on the rise. It's the fastest growing city in the Florida right now. Of course, the whole area is at St. Pete, Clearwater, Sarasota. Of course, out there in the other close counties, we say thank you for joining in for the hottest place to be. And we're getting about 1,000 people a day moving in. I'm going to put out a sign. We're through. You keep going through. Don't stop. We're getting enough people here. The bridges are getting full and the highways are getting full. But we're taking care of everybody here. Again, as we go through those things that talk about veterans, we know that one of our biggest days are coming up, which is 9/11. And we're going to be talking more about 9/11 in the next couple of weeks because 9/11 will be here on 9/11. We only got about 9 days left, and we'll see it again. They protected us. Now it's our turn. We want to protect all of our veterans and make sure that we can stand tall on 9/11. Salute the veterans who are coming out of Afghanistan because that war made 20 years and we're glad we're through with it. Okay, VSOs, American Legions, one of the best places for veterans to still go and get information. Support your local American Legions. Support your AMVETs. Support your VFWs. And I'm going to bring one back that nobody talks about since Bob Hope. Support your USOs. My mother said many years ago she met my father at a USO. And we know that they still exist. We don't hear about the big events that they used to do, but we want you to know that they are there and you can support them. Veterans of foreign wars, VFWs, please stop by and say, are there any Afghanistan return veterans here? We just want to salute you. But support the VSOs. Of course, we have several others around the country. We're going to mention one or two: American Veterans Alliance, and we're going to mention U.S. and Latin Veteran Support Embassy. This week, I've gone overboard to try to remember all of the other things that we could talk about. And I just decided that this next 2 weeks, because of Afghanistan, we're going to talk more about one of the newest VSOs who stood tall and done very well, and that's the Wounded Warriors Project. The Wounded Warriors Project. They have a home office in Jacksonville, but they have offices all across the country: Seattle, Colorado Springs, Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Antonio, Houston, and of course, Dallas, Nashville, Chicago, Pittsburgh, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, Richmond, Fayetteville, and Miami. Guess what? We have our own little Wounded Warriors ranch close by here in our area. We want to thank all of the team from Wounded Warriors Project who've taken a battle and stood up for the wounded warriors. Of course, if you're a veteran, you can get services there anyway, but if you're a wounded warrior and you really do have a need, contact them. Let's see if we can help them help you, because the main thing is all of the stuff that they do, they want you to know, and it is available online. And of course, you can contact us here at WVET, Voice for Veterans, and we will highlight some of the things that they can do. Wounded Warriors Project is called to serve and support 40,000 veterans, Afghanistan veterans. A lot of the people who've been coming out of Afghanistan for the last few years have been helped by Wounded Warriors. And of course, is one thing: as we grow and as this Afghanistan situation changes, we know that Wounded Warriors will be standing here. And we will develop more things to support our Wounded Warriors through our team efforts. The Wounded Warrior Project supports introduction clothing allowance bills of reform. We want everybody to know that there are a lot of other things that are going on out here that need support from each one of us. And that's why we say we support vets too. But the fact is, Mark O'Brien Clothing Allowance Act 2021 is on Capitol Hill today. We want to make sure that we can get some of these things taken care of, and Wounded Warriors is fighting the battle. The Wounded Warrior Project announces new support for veteran services organizations, even up in Alaska, especially those in our area, but all across this country. We need more help from our corporate community, but Wounded Warriors is doing their best to offer their help no matter what. Wounded Warrior Project, congressional members and Veterans Affairs official discuss. Now, what are they discussing now? Women variant. Women, veteran needs. Need I say more? Women veteran needs. When we came up in the early days, 99% of everybody who was in that war were men. Then they started bringing in more help. And I'm not talking about just nurses. I'm talking about other services with the military, which has automatically taken the military from just men to men and women. And women are in combat, women are in communications, women are in logistics, women are officers. So women play a much bigger role. And guess what? The old guard's gonna have to break down and make some changes. So we're gonna say, look out for our women veterans. Washington, D.C., we're calling on you. Stand up for the women who are now in the military and who now got out. Last week, Wounded Warrior Project officer, and of course her name is Officer Jennifer Silva, and the vice president connection with wellness got together, and they had laid out some new guidelines to take care of the women who are now serving or who have recently served and got out. We want you to know that the second stage that Wounded Warriors is stepping up on is Wounded Warrior Project helps family find independence. And what I mean by that is a whole lot of our families have been tied into the military for so long that they are now learning about what are we going to do when we leave the military. Husband and wife have had a regular check. They knew where their food was coming from. A lot of them lived on base. And now they're going to have to come out and deal with the rest of us. Wounded Warriors has a special team now. We're working with helping the family find independence. Feel free to check with them, and they will step up to the plate and see if we can help, not only with just how we work this out, but where to live, what's close to your job, what schools are best for your children. And guess what? Mortgages, homes, whether you want a rebuilt home, a new home, or a home that you're going to do a little fix them up, please feel free to talk to us so that we can deal with the independence part of it. Now, I want you to stay with us for just 1 minute. We're going to take a little break and go to some good music, and I'll be back with more on Wounded Warriors. All righty. I hope you enjoyed that, of course. Virginia Rose, you know we love her. She does very well. She's a local artist. Please support her anytime you see her name pop up anywhere. Again, we were talking about wounded warriors and President Joe Biden recent signature, of course, on this that was Sergeant Brandon Kitchum, Rural Veterans Mental Health Act 2021 will soon expand the mental health resources for veterans in rural areas. Rural veterans of America, help is coming. In a lot of the areas, we know they have a long way to go to get medical services through the VA because the VA hospital is a long way from them. In our area, we're pretty lucky because we have two very good medical centers. Of course, Bay Pines and James Haley. But if you live in Sarasota, if you live in Fort Myers, if you live way up in Zephyr Hills, you still have a ways to come to make your stop when you have a checkup or something due. They're getting ready to expand that and was signed by Joe Biden. And of course, the new law will improve access to mental health care for veterans, of course, in all rural areas. Look for these new offices open, these new little medical centers open in your area, and take advantage of that service being closer to you. Again, we want to thank Virginia Rose. We want to thank all of the artists on a local basis who help us with our music. And we want to tell you how much we appreciate everything. Next week, we're going to be talking about new report on highlights for PTSD risk and factors, of course, in women veterans. We know that that's going to make a difference. And we know that PTSD is not a man thing. Women get it too. And if they've been out there in the military, they've been out there servicing, then they may have a problem too. So this new report, we're going to talk at length about it next week. And I want you to stay tuned. Don't forget, 9/11's coming. You got to remember that day. The Afghanistan war is over after the 9/11. So 9/11 this year, the soldiers will be back. Be cognizant that those people who started this have not gone away. Be vigilant. And it's all about veterans say, do your best, and we'll take care of the rest. This is Keith, the boss of the beach. And I want to say thank you for tuning in to Voice for Veterans on another great Saturday morning. Rise and shine. And thank you for tuning in. Catch us next week, Thursday, midday, 12:35. And of course, next Saturday. Join us again. Over and out with a great thing called Shout. Good music coming up.
Here I go again, jumping into the deep end. Slowly I descend beneath. Animals are friends, how they trick me into believing I am one of them, drowning in my skin. Just let go.
Tune in again 24/7, WBET onlineradio.com.